Brandon with goHUNT. We're going to talk about Colorado, particularly common questions we get about applying in the state. It's definitely a state that should be on your radar. You should be applying in Colorado. The diversity in wildlife, the quality of wildlife, everyone should hunt Colorado in my opinion. With that, we're not going to dive into great detail in this video. Our insider product gives you that detail. If you're not a member, you definitely should be. We walk you through any questions that you have as a Western hunter for any of the states that we cover on that insider platform. Right now we're running a promo code DO50. That'll get you 50 points into our gear shop. So if you're not an insider, you should definitely be. Back to the great state of Colorado. Particularly, again, like I say, talking about applying in the state, how you do it, you know, what benefits there are to the state of Colorado, and we'll dive into that. The first question we get is, how do you apply? Colorado is a great state. It walks you through very simply, you know, log in to their website, create an account, or log in if you're an existing member, you know, and it walks you through step by step. One thing that you will need when you apply in Colorado are hunt codes. You have to type those in physically. So you will need a set of regulations and make sure you select the proper hunt code for the hunt you're interested in. And to find those hunt, again, filtering 2.0, draw odds, those are great tools that the insider product offers for selecting what area, what season, what species you want to apply for. The next big question that we get is, what are preference points? Colorado is a state that offers a point system. It is a true preference point for the most part. There is some little nuances that they talk about the hybrid draw. We're not going to get into that. We do explain that in the app strategies for the species that those are available for. But they are a preference point. It is a true preference point. Person with the most points gets the permits. So if you're looking at a hunt that all the permits go at the 20-point level and you're sitting at 17, odds are you're not going to get a permit going into that hunt. So with that, if you are looking to apply for Colorado as a group or a party, know that when you go into the app, they select the person with the least amount of points. So if you've got a group that 3 of your buddies all have 15 points and you allow that one guy that's got 2 points in, they go with the guy that has 2 points. So just a little nuance that Colorado does. Colorado is a state, particularly, you know, when we look at last year's data with the draw, and everybody talked about the season dates, you know, particularly the rifle season dates all moved way late last year, particularly mule deer, rut dates. They separated the seasons a little bit. Colorado is a state that is prone to points creep. What that is 1 year it may take 5 years to draw a permit. The next year it may take 6 or 7. Then the year following that it may take 8 or 9. So depending on how they put, you know, tag quotas and adjust tag quotas, or decrease permits or increase permits, that all takes into account points creep. Again, with the draw odds detail pages that we have, you can look at the past trend. If that trend over the years has taken an additional point every single year, you can count on that. It's going to take one more point in the next year. So that is points creep. Again, we go into great detail in the insider product. Just be aware of it as you're going into it. It does happen. Colorado is a state that tends to be prone to it. So keep it top of mind when you are going through your application. The other question that we get is, there are different points depending on the species. So for most species, it's a true preference point. However, when you get into moose, sheep, goat, particularly Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, the desert sheep are a different beast. They don't have a point system. So, but when you are talking moose, Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, Rocky Mountain mountain goat, they have kind of a modified point system. So what happens is you have a preference point up to 3, which is a true preference. And then after 3, they give you a weighted point. So what that does is, once you hit the 3 point on the preference point, you're in that max point pool for preference. What that does is it basically limits people that only have 0, 1, or 2 points from drawing a permit. They're not in the max preference pool, so they're not eligible to draw a permit. But after that, if you continue to build points past the 3, they give you a weighted point. What that does is increase your odds statistically of drawing a permit. So a guy with say 3 preference points and 6 modified or weighted points, they have a statistical better odds of someone with just 3 points. So it is a good system that has worked in the past. We are starting to see, those point pools start to creep up as more people start to apply. With that in mind, one little nuance with there, you don't have to purchase a point if you go into those draws. So if you're at that 3-point level and you don't want to buy that $100 point, you don't have to. You're still eligible to draw a permit because you're in that 3-point level, but you don't have to continue to buy that point, if you will. I do personally, just something about it, any way that I can increase my odds of getting a permit, particularly with those species, I'm going to do it. So I do build those points. Some people in our office don't. They just don't justify the cost incurred. But that is a little nuance, again, with those species in the state of Colorado. A big buzz the last year, and it's going to continue on to this year, are the season dates. If you were at all interested in hunting Colorado mule deer last year, everybody was talking about the late dates. After experiencing that for one season, we got incredibly warm weather for most of the state, particularly in that 2nd through 4th season. A lot of the deer stayed timbered. A lot of those deer didn't get harvested. So I'm pretty optimistic on the state of Colorado going into this next year. One thing is a lot of people burnt a lot of points trying to chase those late dates, if you will. So hopefully there's going to be some great opportunity opening up in the state of Colorado. There's a lot of people that tried to chase permits and didn't draw them, so there is still a big point pool out there. I would expect some of the same points creep that we saw last year to continue to happen going into this next year. But again, great dates going into this next year. We get the weather, we get the right conditions, could be a phenomenal hunt from 2nd season clear to 4th season. So, going to continue to hear a little bit of buzz about the dates and the deer hunting in Colorado. Again, we didn't dive into incredible detail in the state of Colorado. We do that in the insider product. If you're not an insider, you definitely should be, particularly if you're looking into a state like Colorado to apply for, whether you have before or you're new to it. Insider's going to offer a ton of value to you. Right now, we're offering a promo code DO50. When you sign up for Insider, you get 50 points into the gear shop. So if you're not an insider, you should be. Jump over, sign up. It's going to be incredible value as you plan out your application this coming season.